Hey, what's up? Today is a special day. Do you know what today is? Now, some of you are saying, well, I don't know. It's Thursday. Is that a big deal? Or it's May 21st. It's like day 317 of the coronavirus, maybe, that I've been staying at home. Those may be good answers, and they may be correct answers, most of them, maybe not the 317. But today is, in the life of the church and in the life of God's people, a special day as well, because today is Ascension Day. It's the day that we remember that Jesus rose up. His disciples watched him. He rose up into the sky and into the clouds, and then the angels show up and they say, "Why are you looking for him? Don't worry, he'll come back the same way you saw him go." Which, by the way, should point us to Daniel chapter 7, where Daniel gets this vision of the Son of Man arriving on the clouds of heaven. So, there you have it. Jesus goes up into the clouds, and guess what? The prediction from Daniel about the end of times is that when Jesus returns, he comes in some way connected to clouds and coming back in that way. So, anyway, that's what happened on Ascension Day, but Ascension Day kind of gets short shrift on the church calendar and in most of our schedules and lives and such, because it's like, well, yeah, that happened, but it's not like a big deal. And actually, I would say it is a big deal. And let me just line that up for you, because, Christmas is a big deal, and we do a lot with that, don't we? Like, we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and like our God came into this world. He humbled himself to become a human being. And we make a big deal out of that. And Good Friday, we make a big deal out of that because our God actually died on a cross. Like, he actually physically, completely died. And that is a big, sobering deal. And then we also make a huge deal out of Easter, because that same God who became man, who died on the cross, like, he rose again, and there's this new life that he has, and he invites us into that new life. We celebrate, and we should celebrate that. We should keep celebrating that, and it's a really big deal. And here's the deal. There's another day that we look forward to that we know we're going to celebrate, and that is the day that Jesus comes back. And we look forward to that day, and we expect that day, and we want that day, we desire that day. But there's another day that's really important in this whole story of what Jesus has been doing, what God has done for us, and what he is working out for us right now in real time, and that is Ascension Day. Because Jesus had to go and do something. Really, and I think there's a lot of ways you can approach this, but the way that I want to show you why it's such a big deal is this. I want to show you what I see in Revelation chapter 5. Because the book of Revelation is about kind of what happens next and how God's plan unfolds up until that time that Jesus comes back. It's not a book about when Jesus comes back, all these things happen. No. It's a book of, like, what's happening now in a very figurative way, in a very symbolic way, in a very confusing way, to be honest. But what is going on now until Jesus comes back. And when Jesus comes back, everything turns good. Everything becomes great. So all the ugly stuff and all the crazy stuff and all the things that make us scratch our heads and go, what is that all about? Well, here's the deal. Revelation chapter 5, there's this picture of God, and the heavenly host kind of surrounded him. It's like the royal court of heaven kind of thing, and they're all gathered there, and God himself is holding this scroll in his hand, and it's got these 7 seals on it, and there's this question that goes up, and it's important, apparently, to open this thing and find out what's written on it and to share that with the world, and it says, who is worthy to open the scroll? And initially, there's no one, and there's a great sadness. And there's a troubling distress, because initially the scroll cannot be opened. God's plans written out on this scroll cannot move forward. There's something keeping God's plans from moving forward until there's one. John begins to weep. And in verse 5 it says, one of the elders said to me, "Weep no more. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has conquered, so that he can open the scroll and its 7 seals." And I love the language there, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He's conquered. This is Jesus. This is Jesus. After his ascension, he shows up. And guess what? Once he shows up in heaven, once he ascends, somebody is worthy to open the scroll. God's plans can move forward. And he's the Lion. He's conquered, he's tough, he's mean, he's intimidating, right? All those kind of things would, maybe not the mean, okay, but you get the picture, right? Like, this is who is stepping forward, but look at this. And between the throne and the four living creatures, and among the elders I saw, what did he see? He saw a lion, right? He saw claws. He saw sharp teeth. He saw something big and fierce and strong. No, not at all. I saw a lamb standing as though it had been slain. He saw this bloody, mangled, sacrificed lamb that happened to still be able to stand up. And this is God who has conquered death. This is God who took on human flesh for your sake and mine. This is God who became a human being at Christmas, who died a bloody and gruesome death on Good Friday, but who rose to new life bodily. And he still carries that body, healed, but not without scars, alive and strong as he was as a lion, but not necessarily looking like it. He bears that in the throne room of heaven, and he is worthy to open the scrolls. He is worthy to open up that scroll and to allow God's plans to move forward. And what are God's plans? God's plans are justice. God's plans are to remove sin and pain and evil. And he does that. And that's what Revelation is about. And God's plans are working their way forward. And Christ needed to ascend in order for God's plans to move forward, in order that you and I could be brought to meet him at his return. That's what we celebrated as Ascension. We celebrate the fact that Jesus' work on earth was completed, and he went back and proved himself worthy to open that scroll and to allow God's plans to move forward so that a new heaven and a new earth could take the place of this one, so that he could return and bring us into that new life with him, fully realized, where there are no more tears, where there is no more grief or mourning, where there is no more pain or death. We celebrate these things at Ascension. We celebrate the Lamb who was slain. So happy Ascension Day. Let's celebrate it together. Amen.